Hey everyone, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me. It's time for my latest video for Imagine, and we're going with a Thanksgiving card today. Now, you could change out Thanksgiving to just be thankful or thank you, but since we're going with more autumnal colors, we're going to go with Thanksgiving, but you can change out the palette to make it work for you and make it a springtime thank you card, whatever you'd like. But we're going to use the Creole Spice Kaleidacolor palette and this great stamp set with dies from Sizzix and 49 in Market. This is called Painted Pencil Leaves. I've used this on my channel before. It's such a great set. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to work with that. And I've got a piece of smooth Bristol cardstock that I just roughly cut down. I don't know what size it is. It doesn't matter because we're going to cut it apart. But what we're going to do is we're going to do some ink smushing with the Kaleidacolors. Now, normally when I do ink smushing, I'll just apply the color to my work surface and then lay my cardstock on top and just kind of smush the color into it and get whatever I get and be fine. But I know that not everyone likes to do it that way. So instead, we're going to use a piece of acetate. This is just recycled packaging. Sometimes I use it for shaker cards, but you can also use it for what we're doing today. This is going to give us a more controlled ink smush, as much as you can control it, really, because it is kind of something that you can't you can't say, okay, I want the blue here and the green here and the yellow here and that's it. It doesn't really work that way with ink smushing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my palette and I'm going to just apply this color kind of all over. Now keep in mind it's got this tab here. This is to click the colors together. So you're not going to be able to get that golden color at first. But if you just kind of use your hands and just get it on there. Now what we can do is we can either use ink potion number 9, which is also from Imagine, or water. We'll try both. And just spray this a little bit. This is going to help the colors migrate. It's going to help them stay wet for a little bit longer. And we can get them to move around a little bit if we want to. So I sprayed it a couple of times, and now we can see exactly where those colors are going to go. So we're just going to kind of apply this color all over, and we're going to probably get a little bit of mud, but it's fine. It's okay. I made it such a big piece of paper so that this way we can control where we stamp, even if we can't control our colors completely. So I've got a lot of ink right here. I'm going to pick some of that up and spread it out a little bit. See how that turned into a nice shade of green? Look at that. You can use your fingers and kind of play with it that way. So now I'm going to add some more to my piece of acetate. It's reading a little bit more blue than I want. I really want these kind of golden colors in here. So I'm going to work on just using those. Maybe we'll wipe this off, actually. Got a lot of blue happening. We don't need quite so much. There we go. So that's another thing about using the acetate. You can control what colors you're working with if you're doing the Kaleidacolor and you've got a palette of, 5 colors here. Okay. Apply this like that. Definitely want some more of this color all over. That's getting somewhere. All right. A little bit more, and we'll use some water this time, just in case you don't have ink potion number 9. So I just have a spray bottle with water in it. I'm just going to spray that. You can see it's really running now because the plastic is really wet. Now it looks like a hot mess, and that is okay. Once we stamp our foliage and die cut it, it's going to look really nice. I feel like we need a little bit more of a brown in here though. All right, I've got my Cappuccino Delight Kaleidacolor, and I'm going to wipe off my plastic or my acetate. If you have like Mylar, the material that's used for stencils, you could use that too. All right, so we've got Cappuccino Delight. I think that this is going to help the palette. All right, we're just kind of layering these colors. Look at that. It's kind of muting some of it down. we might wind up doing an entire background with these leaves. Originally, I was just going to put one, but this is looking really pretty. So we might need to do a couple of them instead and just fill the background. I like it. It's like if you're looking at trees from high above, you know, and they're far away, you can't really differentiate one from the other. Yeah, that toned the blue down quite a bit. So orange and blue are opposite on the color wheel. And while we're not using a straight orange here, it's got orange tones to it, and that is helping to really mute down that bright blue that we had going. Just go in with my paper towel and pick some of that up. There, that looks pretty good. I like it. Very nice. Okay, we're going to dry this with the heat tool just to speed up the process a little bit, and then we'll start stamping. As much as I love a good, rich, solid black outline, I really like using colors too. So we're going to use VersaFine Clair with the outline stamp in this set. So in the set is kind of this broken up, distorted foliage. There's a couple of solid pieces that fit in, but we're going to just use the outline because obviously we don't want to hide all of this pretty things that we have going on here. Okay, so we're stamping that up, and now we need to kind of decide, like, where do we want this to go? I'm really liking this with the blue because it's not so overpowering anymore. So we're going to start there. And if we wind up just using one for today's card, that's okay. We can save all of the rest for other cards or maybe place settings or something like that. Check that out. Isn't that pretty? And once we die cut this, it's going to look amazing. So now the one thing that we need to keep in mind is that we want to be aware of the fact that the die is going to be a little bit bigger than the leaves themselves. So we don't want to put them too close to each other because then the die won't be able to fit. And we could inadvertently cut more than we want off. That looks good. You can fussy cut this too, but in this case the dies come with the stamp, so makes things nice and easy. All right, I think that we're going to start by die cutting these two so that I can see what kind of space I have left. I'm going to start by just trimming this down. Okay, and then I'm going to separate these. And I've got my die here, and this is a little close to the edge, but I'm really not worried about it. It's fine. If we have that piece going off the edge of our card, that is okay. I'm going to just line this up as best as we can. Got some low-tack tape here. That looks okay. And this is a really forgiving stamp and die set where if it's a little off, it doesn't look bad. Okay, I'm going to die cut this and this piece, and we'll be right back. I was able to get 4 of these foliage bundles or bunches out of the one piece that we made, and just look at how pretty they are. And I love how close those dies cut. A little bit of an edge, but not much. It's so pretty. So these were the first 2. Love that. They're beautiful. And you can go in with your memento markers or something and add some more color and dimension to it, but I really like this the way it is. It kind of looks like the sun is kind of dappling on the leaves, and I think they're really beautiful. What I'm thinking is that we're going to use these foliage bunches and we're going to put them all over the background of the card, but I really think that it needs more than just that. It needs a little bit of depth. Some more interest happening. So what I decided, first of all, this is an ivory cardstock. It's not a stark white. I didn't want to use stark white. I needed something a little bit warmer, so that's why I went with this. But I have the messy Harlequin stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. It doesn't need to be a stencil. If you have a background stamp that's linear or something, or maybe a scripty type of background, stencil, stamp, whatever, That could work too, but I really think that we need something happening back there, and this is going to be interesting because it's not perfect, it's messy, hence messy Harlequin. So it has more of an organic feel, but it's also sort of geometric, so I think that organics and geometrics always look good together. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to take the Creole Spice Kaleidacolor, and we're going to use that to get this going. So first I need to attach my paper to my work surface here. And then we're going to put this down like that. Whoops. As I throw things all over the place. Okay. That's not sticking well. All right. Got some washi tape here. That could be better. I think that there's still some ink potion number 9 on my surface, and that could be the problem. All right. I've got a couple of blending brushes. You can use sponge daubers if you want to. I find it a little bit easier for what we're going to do here to use the brushes over the daubers because I want to have kind of a smooth blend happening. I'm just dipping into this second color that's in the Creole Spice, and I'm going to apply it here and there. Not all the same depth of color. Some areas will be darker, some will be lighter. And then I'm going to dip into the green. And just kind of work that out. And I don't mind if some of it is almost non-existent. That's fine. Some light areas here that I like. There we go. Take a peek. Very cool. I like that. All right, we can remove the stencil. And now we can take a look at how this is with the foliage. See, just gives it some more interest. That's fun. We might not even need these other ones. I was thinking about filling the whole thing, but you know, this looks really nice. I do think that we need some splatter though. And we could do that one of two ways. We can do that with the splatter stamps that come with this foliage, but that's just not really what I want to do. I want to just splatter, just with a liquid. But you can definitely use this if splattering isn't your thing. This is a nice way to get a messy look, but in a more controlled way. But I like mess, so we're going to make a mess. Even if it's a controlled mess, you know, slightly controlled. Rich Cocoa Fireworks Spray. You want to make sure that you shake it up so that all of this pretty shimmery powder is mixed in. I do want to move these out of the way. I don't mind if they get splattered, but in this case, I don't really want them to. See how that's all mixed in now? And now we're going to just open this up and give it a couple of taps. And that is just what this needed. Perfect. I'll lift this up and show you how shimmery it is. Look at that. So pretty. And it if you have big areas that don't have shine at first, once it dries down, it gets really shiny. So pretty. Okay. Now we are going to add our foliage. I really like this one. This one really looks like it's sun-dappled. I think that we just need the two. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. That's what it's going to be. So I'm going to apply some glue to this, and whatever is hanging over the edge, we will trim off after it's dry and save it. Save it for another card. Even these small pieces, because if we were going to fill it, this piece here could easily just tuck in right here and fill that space up, but I really like having it like this, and then we'll just put a sentiment on top. We're going to trim these off. how pretty that is. And then I have this simple thank you. This is from Pinkfresh Studios. I don't know if this set is available any longer, but I did stamp it with Shady Lane. Use whatever you've got, guys. And I think that that's going to go right there. Yeah, I don't really like it up there. If you want to, you can die cut this a few times or use foam tape to pop this up, but I think keeping it nice and flat is just fine. I've got a piece of brown cardstock that we're going to use for our base. Look at how striking that is. So it's not as Thanksgiving as I was kind of anticipating it was going to be at the beginning of the video, but you know what? I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful, and anyone that you send this to, no matter the time of year, is going to really like it. And it didn't take long. A couple of Kaleidacolor inks. Just need a little bit of glue on this leaf here. Some ink smushing, a little splatter here and there, and you've got a really beautiful card. Oh, and don't forget the stenciling in the background. Look at how pretty that is. Really a very fast card to make, and we've got foliage for another card if we wanted to. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope that you learned a couple of things. I hope that you give these techniques a try, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Be well, stay safe. Peace out.